good stories, but everything important happens when we're awake.
What you're going to hear about today is nothing short of a miracle.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pubstomp, a podcast about games, TV shows, movies, and pop culture in general. Every episode, we discuss topics that we find interesting. Come join our shenanigans.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Pubstomp Podcast. We're back at Mexy's house in Arizona. Dawson, motherfucker. I'm just kidding. Today we have an episode that is so good because we're going to be talking about Dune, and we're in the desert, which makes so much more sense. Man, if you haven't seen Dune, just stop right now. Go watch it. It's 2 hours and a half. It's worth it.
Watch it twice.
Watch it twice. Watch it 3 times if you have to. All right? But anyway, what's up, Tyler?
Hey.
What's up, Mexy?
Howdy.
Oh, man. We had a little bit of soju. Just a little bit. We have more later. But, yeah. We're going to skip the news segment because there's nothing. The only news worth talking about today is that Dune is getting a second movie. Right?
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
I thought that was implied. Didn't they say part 1 in the beginning? But I guess I wasn't sure.
They didn't actually greenlit
Wasn't
it
okay.
until this
Was
week.
it greenlit?
No, it wasn't greenlit until this.
They really were confident in
Yeah.
Confident, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's by the director, Denis Villeneuve. All right. I don't know how to speak French. Apparently nobody can say his name right. And he feels bad about it. So if you want to talk to him, say his name properly, right?
So was that right or not? Okay,
it's close enough. Close enough.
Denis Villeneuve.
Denis Villeneuve?
Yeah.
What has he directed?
He's French.
He did Sicario.
Oh, okay.
He did Arrival.
Okay.
Which is a really boring movie. And then
I liked Arrival.
Blade 2049.
You take that back.
2049. Blade Runner 2049.
Okay.
Also boring.
It's a pretty good track record.
Yeah, I mean, before we watched this movie, Mexi was like, all of his movies are boring. And I can see how somebody can say that because they're longer movies. They're more like artsy, or I was like,
yeah.
what do we call cinematography?
Yeah. They're award movies. That's why I see it.
Okay. Yeah, and I can see that. Look, I watched Blade Runner 2042. Man, that movie, don't know what was going on. I don't know if you guys watched it.
I don't know if I watched that one.
I watched it.
Yeah, I went with my wife to the movie theater, and I was like, I feel bad because I didn't know what was going on. She doesn't care about sci-fi, and I was like, I'm sorry because it's a long movie too. So anyway, but this one though, Dune, I think I honestly, when I watched the trailer, I didn't care for it. So yeah, I think this leads into our
that's interesting, right? Because we have the opposite.
You have the opposite feeling.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because you guys were like so excited. I was like, kid in the desert.
And look at me now.
Yeah, because this was supposed to come out in 2020.
Yeah, last year. Yes,
last year.
The pandemic.
Okay, yeah, a pandemic kind of ruined stuff. Anyway, so I guess we'll do the roundtable and I'll see who liked it, who didn't like it. So, Mexi, let's start with you, man.
Sorry.
I knew it. I freaking knew it.
Is that all you gotta say?
I mean, it was good. I saw it at home. And I feel this is the wrong way to watch this movie.
Yeah,
they did say that.
Yeah.
Because I have a big screen TV, and as I'm watching it, I'm like, it's not enough scale. I need it to be larger.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. And your TV's huge.
Minor flex there.
Minor flex.
So Tyler, did you?
Oh, I loved it. I mean, it's not the most exciting movie in the world, and you definitely don't get. I agree. You don't get the scale. At home, but the scale of the movie is huge. Everything's just huge. Like spaceships are huge, and the planets are huge, and it's massive, and it's awesome. It's lore galore.
It's like your mama
because it's like
sorry.
There's just so much lore in the movie, and it's like actually well told. I think there's not a lot of action, but I think the story's well told, and I'm excited for the second part. It did end abruptly. I thought. I was like, come on. You're not going to show me the Emperor?
Yeah.
Like, what?
I was going to say that too, because one of my complaints in the movie is that if you don't have context to some of this stuff, like the movie just kind of there's too much to the movie. You kind of we're missing half the context here.
Right. Yeah. But I loved it. I was excited for this movie, but in like I don't know why, because I bought the book and I never read it. I still plan to read it before the next one, but I loved it.
Cool. My turn. This movie is awesome. All right. I don't care. I had zero expectations. I was like, I did not want to watch this movie. Like, you guys don't know how much I did not want to watch this movie. Mm-hmm. Like, I saw the time, 2 hours and 30 minutes. Like, this movie's gonna suck. But hey, I was pleasantly surprised. This movie I watched it twice. All right.
Okay.
Because I knew I missed a bunch of stuff, but the first one I was like, I'm gonna watch it again, and it was so much better the second time. And I want to watch it in the movie theater because you guys. I watched it on an iPad, guys. So
on an iPad. Oh my god! Talking
about scale, so it's like I know I could tell. I was like, I'm missing so much.
No.
But yeah, it was awesome. I liked that I didn't have to know all about the movie to understand it. They explained enough to know what's going on. For example, I don't want. We'll get more into it later. But I remember the fighting scene when they're practicing sparring the kid and his, I guess, masters. They're training in fighting, and they explain how the suit works, but they didn't stop the movie to tell you how it works. That kind of stuff. So I really enjoyed the movie. There's a lot of stuff in there. There's a lot of dialogue, which I kind of liked too, and it wasn't dumb. Mm-hmm. It looks good. So anyway, thumbs up, 2 thumbs up.
Yeah,
watch it twice, 3 times, as much as you want.
You got 1.5 thumbs up over here.
1.5. I mean, I would have loved this movie more had I had gotten the second part of it.
Is that it though? Like, what else took you? What took that second thumb or
in
the second half of the second thumb?
This movie, you have to go watch it in the theater. I'm not normally like,
but yeah, I get you, but don't take a half thumb away for that.
That is your own fault.
That's your problem. That's a you problem.
Let's blame HBO for that.
No, because it takes away. Like, if you make a movie to be viewed in a certain way, and you don't have that, it kind of takes away from it.
It does a little. I'll give you that.
I watched it on iPad, guys. So this is fine. Yeah. You know, I mean, yes, it would have been better, but I think the movie's still the
dialogue is good. Everything is good.
All the dialogue was like on point too. Like all the quotes and stuff.
I love how they explain the lore, because the first part of the movie, you're like, I'm a little confused for like the first 20 minutes, 30 minutes maybe.
Yeah,
I was so confused. But then they explained, and then all of a sudden you learn about the houses and the different houses and stuff, and then it starts making more sense.
Yeah,
I like the natural way of explaining the story.
They did a good job.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why I was like, because like I said, Blade Runner, didn't know anything. I walked in, walked out. I was like, I could have just not watched it. I think you have to be an insider, but this one they explain stuff. So.
You're watching a sequel in that one.
That's true. That was my own fault. I won't blame you.
Imagine going into Dune Part 2 without watching Dune Part 1. It's like, what?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll
the Harkonnens? House Atreides? What?
Did either of you watch the original Dune?
I've seen
Mexy did.
I've seen the David Lynch one in the 80s because my mom more specific, and brother like it a lot.
Okay.
And I've seen the miniseries a little bit. It wasn't
okay. Yeah. And you didn't.
I texted through when I was watching the movie. I was like, I realized that I don't remember this movie as well as I did.
Okay.
Because I remember watching it as a kid, and then I was like, this is the most boring movie I've ever seen in my life. There's magic, but it's boring magic.
Yeah. This movie could have easily been boring. Because there's not a lot of action, but it was so well done.
Yeah.
Cool.
I liked it.
Stoked on it. Yeah.
All right. So let's move into favorite characters, guys. Mexy, who did you like? Just tell me who your favorite character is.
Oh, man, that's a loaded question.
Or pick a few, whatever. Man.
I like Aquaman.
Duncan Idaho.
Duncan was awesome.
He is the best.
I think he had some good lines. I think one of my favorites. Well, I'll just say it because it makes it why he's a bad. Yeah. Like they established from the very beginning, he's a badass. He's like the best fighter that House Atreides ever had. And then somewhere in the middle, when they're getting attacked or whatever, he just walks up to a couple people, kills them, and then everybody just backs off and just lets him get on the ship. Yeah. I'm like, that's how you know he's badass. Like
that was a super well done scene. Because that was subtle and that was really cool.
It's like bad dogs. And then he's like, yep, take the ship, whatever.
My bad.
Yeah. Cool. So sticking with that one, Tyler, what do you think, man?
Duncan Idaho was by far my favorite character.
Was he?
What was her name? Chaney?
Chaney.
Chaney?
Yeah.
I like her. She's from another show I used to watch.
I've never seen her before.
Oh, she's from Spider-Man, and
Spider-Man.
she's from something else too. But anyways, I liked her in other things, and I did like her in this first part, but I thought we would see more of her. So
She had almost
we'll
lines,
see.
right?
She didn't have a lot, but I think she's going to be a really cool character in the next story.
That's all she said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she said, "This is a nice knife for you to die with."
Yeah, exactly.
That was pretty badass.
Here's my dagger.
Yeah.
Give it to me. It'd be an honor if you
Yeah.
die with it. Like, ouch.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So definitely Duncan Idaho is my favorite.
Gotcha.
I hope she's a real strong
She's
character
kind
in the next one.
Yeah, it seems like she's gonna be.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So my favorite character is Lady Jessica, like the mistress. Dude,
Interesting.
like
Okay.
I don't know, like for the first, like I don't know, like
For the first time,
No.
he's the one
what?
over here with the lady.
Yeah, well, it's like I guess the 3/4 of the movie, she has almost nothing. She's like, oh, crying and like praying,
Yeah.
like, oh, fear not, and then all of a sudden, when she's about to end the scene where she uses the voice to kill the pilots, I was like, damn, she's scary.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I got scared.
Yeah.
Like, oh snap, that voice is scary.
That power is
Yeah.
that gives me nightmares.
Yeah, it's a little OP. But
The Force.
the
Yeah,
voice.
yeah.
Yeah, they call it the voice in the movie.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah.
that's what it's called in the book too, but
It is.
It's almost more like the villain in Jessica Jones, the doctor. What you know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
That gives me the heebie-jeebies, man.
yeah. So I thought she was pretty cool. Like once we see her character evolve from like just being the mistress to being the mother of Paul.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And apparently she has some like
Paul Atreides, please.
Paul Atreides.
Yeah.
Because that's a cool badass
Yeah,
last
Atreides.
name.
It is House Atreides.
House Atreides.
Yeah. So,
So cool.
that's I'm gonna stick with that.
She's a subtle badass.
She is.
Yeah.
Especially at the end where she's like,
Yeah.
ah, like
Yeah.
kicks that guy's ass.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, okay.
So it's pretty cool.
Okay.
I don't know, man, but
I want to say that my honorable mention is the Duke, Leto Atreides. He was he just the way he carried himself and talked and like everything he says, super quotable.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's like a stereotypical hero. Like he wanted to do
Yeah.
good by the world. And
He,
I'm like,
he reminded me of like Leonidas.
yeah.
Like,
yeah, and his fall was kind of crappy, but also he got to avenge. Like, I guess he didn't, but kind
Not
of.
really.
Not really.
Not really.
Kind of sucks that the guy got away, but it was awesome how he's just like get closer and boom,
Yeah.
poison breath.
Yeah.
Boom. Oh, by the way, spoilers all over the place.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I did, obviously.
We already gave you the warning, so my bad.
Sonya Blade. Kiss of death.
Yeah.
Sonya Blade. Yeah. I didn't like that the Baron didn't freaking die. By the way.
I thought that was kind of dumb. To be
Yeah, I was like,
honest.
he was right next to him. How can you not die?
Because he had a shield on, man.
I saw that, but it went red, so I don't know.
All that means is it slows it down.
It slows it down.
Yeah.
Those shields are really cool, by the way.
Yeah.
The shields. I hate
Alright,
the shields.
alright, let's talk
They're
about
the
the shields.
dumbest
You want
shields
to talk
ever.
about the technology,
Yeah,
right?
I want to talk about the shield. I thought the shield was the coolest thing ever.
So cool.
Dumb.
When they're the first time they introduced it is when Paul and I forget the name.
I have the
It
name
was-
Gurney.
Gurney.
When they're training, Gurney and
Gurney,
Paul's
yeah. Gurney and Paul are training,
with
and then
Thanos.
they turn it on. They turn it on and it explained like, oh, it doesn't. It's slow blade penetrates the shields, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh snap, and it gets red. Because I was like, how does that thing work? I'm like, trying to figure it out, and they explained to me, and like, oh my god. And throughout the whole movie, it's just you see it.
Yeah, they used it over and over again. It was so
Yeah.
good.
Awesome. I loved it. Why didn't you like it, Mexi?
It's just a stupid mechanic.
What?
It is a dumb.
No.
I hate it because it's so
No.
easy. Like
You're
throughout
wrong.
the movie,
Beat them.
like when the bombs are falling, they're shooting the bombs. Like you could see the bombs like fall and then they slow down and then they explode. And because slow, like it only if it's slow, it'll penetrate the shield. Or like when
Right? So continuity. This is cool.
right,
Yeah,
but
this
it's
is good.
stupid because it doesn't really help in this world.
It
right?
does because
It
it's on
does.
the spaceship, like not the ornithopter or whatever it's called, the
Yeah.
dragonfly plane. When they were get hit with rockets, the shield turned on. He didn't explode.
Yeah. It's such a cool visual cue in the fight scenes
Yeah.
and like
Sure.
the battle scenes. It's so cool because you see the little blips of red. That's so sick.
And then when Leto gets shot and he
That
can't
was
get the
dumb.
dart, he's
That
like,
was-
"Ah!" like
Yeah.
you can't reach your back. Like I can touch my entire back.
He's so swole, man.
He's not that
Yeah.
small.
He's
He's
so
not that
small.
small.
I saw traps getting in the
Yeah,
way.
Yeah.
I thought he needs to do some yoga.
I was like, come on, bro.
Yeah, I thought that was up too because if he would have turned, I
Yeah.
guess the kinetic energy would have pushed the bullet somewhere else, but I guess it gets stuck in the shield. Okay, whatever. All right.
Like I said, you can grab it. Like I didn't buy that.
Yeah.
That was weak.
Okay.
That one scene, I'll give you that. But
It's a cool
It was a
view.
cool
I just think they're
mechanic, I
kind of
thought.
useless, especially when they're like a slow blade. So as long as you're like,
So maybe that's why they were not using guns, because bullets are fast. As we were talking.
yeah.
I was curious about
It's
that.
like why do they have all this technology?
Yeah,
why are they
why
shooting
these-
each other?
Because swords are cooler, man.
Swords are cooler. I'll give you that.
I do enjoy that. It was very
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
But I like that explanation, though. I'll take it.
Yeah, so
I'll take it.
Bullets won't do shit because they'll still
Yeah.
the shield. will
Sure.
stop it. So maybe that's why. But I don't know. They did a 300 movement, like when they were attacking the house and they have the spears.
mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the phalanx.
Yeah. So, but they got it. So.
It's mad because somebody just floated behind them.
Yeah, I know.
It's like Mary Poppins back there.
Yeah. All right. And the other tech thing was the ornithopter. I think that's what they call it. The freaking
Dragonfly?
The dragonfly.
Yeah.
That's what I kept calling it too.
Yeah.
Dragonfly ships.
Yeah, those are pretty cool. They don't make any sense because if you're just sending a ship, why'd you make something that moves a lot? It'll break probably, but who cares?
I mean, no ship in that movie made sense because like everything's so bulky and big and like it's like oddly shaped, and I'm all like, it's weird, but I'll let it. I'll let it go. Yeah.
It was so cool though. The ships are so huge, and like each house had their own style of ship.
Yes.
Which I thought was cool. Though the one continuity issue, one of them that I had, and it's super minor, but like in the beginning when they were harvesting the spice, the other house, the crazy looking guys, Harkonnens or whatever.
Like,
when they were mining it or whatever, they had weird looking ships. They looked like roundish. And then when the House Atreides came in, they were like, they left behind their mining equipment and it was like different looking ships.
I think they took some of their stuff.
Oh, okay.
Because he mentions how they just left, they sabotaged
They
them.
like left the old ship or something. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I see. Yeah.
Because I was like, that looks like the House Atreides kind of style of ship, but they said it was left behind. That was kind of weird. Minor. Super minor.
Yeah. Also, the gear is the what are they called? The desert people. What are they called?
The Fremen.
The Fremen. Yeah.
Fremen.
That tech is also kind of cool. You pee into your suit and then or you pee and sweat into it, and then you drink it. Come on, that's kind of cool.
I will point out that one of the coolest scenes, and I love the continuity of this, is when they kill the whatever's her name, the judge or whatever, and they like stab her, and then water squirts out.
Yeah, I thought that was more like for imagery that blood, water is more precious than blood.
Yeah.
That's just me. Maybe I read too much into it.
No, I mean, it made sense to me because the whole suit's like water, right? So when she got stabbed, it squirted out water. So I was just like, oh, like it's filled with water. It makes perfect sense.
But I think blood should have come out too. I mean, you got stabbed.
I'm sure.
Bloody water.
But it's like a wetsuit, right? So like the first thing that's going to come out is like the water in the suit.
Okay. Yeah, it is PG-13, so they're not showing a lot of blood and stuff. So I appreciate that because I thought the movie was fine as PG-13. I got everything I needed. Yeah, you're right. The continuity.
No, because the suit would absorb the blood to turn it into water.
There you go. Now we're
There you go.
Oh, what about the sand compactor? I thought the thing was cool too. It's like it reminded me of like the anime, the drilling into the sand.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I thought the tech was cool. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought so.
It doesn't have to make sense. I mean, normally I'm like, I have to be rules, but for this one, I bend the rules.
It wasn't overdone though. You know, they had a few tools that they needed to do whatever they needed to do.
I liked it. I mean, it made sense for like a year 10,100 and something. Is like obviously tech could be whatever at that point.
Yeah. And the thumper to track the worm.
Yeah.
That's cool.
The last thing, the compass, they didn't see anything different. He just was there anything on it?
I didn't see anything.
He just pulled it up and like, I know where I'm going. Okay, whatever.
I mean, was it really that important?
Not really.
They used it.
It was kind of cool though because they said the moons thing. I mean, it kind of makes sense.
Kind of.
Neither or not, it didn't waste that much time, so it was fine. I was fine with it.
It's like they need somehow to navigate. Here's a compass, and it's because of the two moons. It looks weird. Yeah. Okay, good.
Cool.
We get it.
Anyway, I don't know. That's all I gotta say about the tech. I thought the tech was cool.
Yeah,
it looked cool. It made sense in the movie.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right.
The favorite scene? Mike's. Oh, you had some.
Honestly, my favorite scene, and it's my most hated scene because it's so like it's such a trope. So when they're escaping after everybody dies or whatever, right?
Yeah.
They're they're in like an old mining facility, and then so you get to that point in that Paul had that dream where Duncan dies, right?
Yeah.
Duncan Idaho, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's in that hallway, right? And he's so badass, right? He's fighting everybody, but he's not badass enough to kill everybody. But it's such a trope that you kill the most badass character in the movie or something. So I was just like, yeah, it's so cool, especially when he stands back up at the end, like after he gets killed or pseudo dies the first time, and then he keeps kicking ass, but then like he still dies, and it's like why do you have to die there? Like,
I mean, they were like,
because it was the vision, man.
I know, I get it, but like, what did the Sand People do? Because I know the Sand People were supposed to be super badass, and they kill a bunch of people.
There were like 20 of those dudes. I don't know. They just keep coming. I don't know, man.
That scene was cool too, though. When they're like, when the guy notices the people, and then they just disappear. I'm like, these sand ninjas like everywhere, man. Where do they? Every time the Fremen show up is a good scene.
Oh yeah.
They're just ninjas.
Definitely.
They're awesome. Sand. Desert power.
Yeah.
Desert power.
In the beginning, when they popped out of the sand, when they were like guerrilla warfare kind of stuff, that was cool.
That was awesome.
Well, they do that everywhere. Like when at the end, when they're just suddenly like, shh. It's like, where did you come from? Like,
it's awesome.
Sand no jutsu.
Tyler, you got a favorite scene? Or pops up?
Yeah. My favorite scene is the fight to the death towards the end, the honorable fight. I know. It's the common one. Sorry, I stole it.
No, it's all good.
But it was so cool when when Paul Atreides. He gets a knife to his throat like 3 times in a row, and I thought it was so well done with the dialogue. And they're like, "Is he playing with him?
Yeah,
is he teasing him?" And he's like, "No, he's never killed anybody before." And you see the worry on the guy's face, like the Freya guy. He gets worried, like super well done, like the facial expressions and the dialogue and the fight. I really like that scene a lot. It was a powerful scene,
right? And to follow up on that, when I watched it the second time around. He had a vision before that, and his vision was with that same guy he's fighting. He's like, I'm going to teach you to be the next person. Yeah. And I was like, to become the next person, you have to kill somebody, and then that person also dies with you. Yeah. So Paul Atreides dies and is reborn as like a badass. Like,
he did flip a switch, right? Yeah. And he knew every step in the fight. Yeah. It was so cool how he knew it. Yeah.
Yes,
I have issues with that.
Yeah, issues with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is he toying with him?
No, it's not so much that. Because you guys say like, he grows up and he's a badass.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like he was a good person because he didn't want to kill somebody. But now he like killed somebody. So it's like him turning, right? He was doing the right thing before.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think it was more he gained confidence.
No.
I think it's gonna end up like. The way the visions play out was him dying when he was doing the right thing, because he's constantly dying in his visions and things.
Yeah.
So like, I think it's like, I'll hold off the talk later.
we could already get into it, but yeah, that was one of my favorite scenes. The other scene was what's in the box. I didn't know what was going to happen with what does she have a name? The Bene Gesserit lady,
the Reverend.
The Reverend, yeah. I'm sure she has a name, but anyway, the only person that comes from the Bene Gesserit,
Reverend Mother Mohiam.
Yeah, and she's like, kneel down. I was like, oh snap, uses the voice, and yeah, because I don't know what was the point of that, like test to make sure that he's like strong enough to.
So he wasn't supposed to have the powers, like the voice and all that. He was technically illegal. So you know how you were talking about breeding programs? Yeah. And they told Lady Jessica you were supposed to have a daughter?
A daughter, yeah.
Yeah, and only women are supposed to have the voice and all that. So he wasn't supposed to be trained in the ways. And she wanted to figure out, like, are you good enough to have the ways or not?
Gotcha, yeah. But that thing, like, put your hand, it was like, oh, man, don't stick your hand in there. Mm-hmm. But now she put the needle to his neck, so I was like, you gotta do it.
That was kind of weak, though.
Yeah, I thought it was good. Because
one move and you're dead. And I was like,
I thought it was
what if he sneezes?
Yeah. So that was one of my other favorite scenes. Because it's like, he's growing throughout the movie really fast.
Yeah.
To become Duke.
I like that scene, too, because they do that's when they introduce you to that prayer that they say, Fear is the Mind Killer.
Fear is the Mind Killer,
yeah. I was like, Fear is a little death. I was like, oh, that sounds so badass.
Yeah, because she says it all over through the movie.
Yeah, she does.
And like scary stuff is happening, which is kind of cool. I mean,
it's a good way of like calming you down, right? Like,
she looked freaked out the whole time. Though I was like holding her stomach, like almost dying. The whole
well, I think it's because that lady's super powerful, right? Because she was just like kneel, and like dude's like, like,
damn,
like there is no like, oh, I'll think about it. It's like nope, boom, down, like
So that was cool. I have some random thoughts, and I don't know if Mexi will get this movie gave me vibes of like Code Geass. Did it give you any vibes?
I mean, the control thing, a little bit.
Okay. Kind of like because the actor Paul is pretty slender, reminded me of the main character of the anime.
And he's wearing that trench coat. The trench coat was the coolest.
And the robots and the fighting with swords. I don't know. That's the but man, I don't know. So favorite quotes,
bruh.
Mexi.
I have so many quotes in this movie that I love.
He's got some notes.
I do. I took one picture of the ones that I like.
Yes.
There is one, and I'm only going to say one because I think this was the most insightful quote in the whole movie.
Oh, yeah?
And it's with Janis. I think that's how you say his name. When he's having a vision of him, and he's like, the mystery of life isn't a problem to solve, but a reality to experience. A process that cannot be understood by stopping us. We must flow with the process, we must join it. We must flow with it. And I was like, dude, like talking about death in that way. It's like, that makes sense. But also like how he's attributing it to like the flow of sand and stuff, because sand is time and things. Like you know. And it's a good way of saying that. I thought, but it also goes with the one that Duncan says, like dreams are great, but you have to be in reality or something. Yeah.
You said you were going
to say mine, and then you said mine.
Sorry.
Tyler.
Sorry.
We're going to fix this in post.
I'll cut it out. Don't you worry.
Mine is pretty much anything Duncan Idaho says, but definitely the dreams make good stories, but everything important happens when we're awake.
Yeah.
It was much less, it wasn't quite as deep and thoughtful as your first one, but damn, when he says it, and freaking Aquaman up there. Dude. He's such a badass. And so good.
Yeah.
I love that.
The only faux pas there is that they shaved his beard. They should have just kept it on.
Yeah, they should have.
All right. So I'll move on to my quote. I mean, you guys were going from serious to less serious. So my quote was when Leto asked Halleck, it's like, what do they say about this hellhole again? It's like, to shower, you scrub your ass with sand. Yes. It's like, yes, they do say that. It's like, it's freaking hilarious, man. I don't know.
Because it came out of nowhere. It's such a serious movie, and then all of a sudden, he's like, what do they say?
It's so funny. I hope it's part of the book. I don't know if it is, but it's such a funny quote. And it makes sense, but there's no freaking there's no water. There's a few things that I don't know if you guys caught on, or maybe you guys did or not. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But the bull. Can you guys explain to me what they kept showing the head of a bull?
The grandfather was a bullfighter.
Oh,
so it's like the symbol or something of the house.
Symbol of the house. Because they kept showing. They had the head and they moved with it, and they kept showing it on like every cut scene, and then the. Paul also had like a figurine of a bull.
Yeah, it was a grandfather. It was like the house. What they do at the house.
Did they fight bulls? I guess they did say that. They did. Yeah. His grandfather fought bulls. That was it?
Yeah, that's it.
Nah.
Okay. I thought it meant something else, but I guess not.
It was cool when they packed up all their shit from their house and they moved away, and then they showed the bull on the new planet, and it looked different in the light. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. It's like a bull in the china shop, That's symbology or whatever. Symbolism.
The other thing was the palm trees. Yeah. They're watering, like they said, like the guy that was watering the palm trees said like it takes about 5 persons ration of water, and he's like, this is like 100 people or whatever. And then later when the Harkonnen go and invade the scene, you can see what's the guy's name? The wrestler. He's like killing the people.
Dave Bautista.
Yeah, he's like lining people down, and then the trees are on fire, and he's killing people in a row. It's like it's like both of them are dying. Yeah, the trees are like important because Paul said like, why don't we just take them down to save some water? He's like,
that's what. To add to that, that's what I was going to say when Paul said that, and earlier on, his dad says like, good leaders don't want to lead or whatever. There's some quote about like you're drawn to lead or whatever.
Yeah.
And then when he was talking to the guy about the palm trees, and he was like, should we just take them down? It was like I thought that was like a good like leader line. He's like, well, I mean, we don't need the stupid palm trees. It's good,
Right.
you know. And he's like, no, it's a symbol, man.
Symbol. Yeah. So, but yeah,
That's a good quote too.
That's a good
When
quote.
it sounds like when you're at the lead or something and you answer
Yeah.
the call.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
if your answer
Yeah.
is no, you'll still always be what I wanted you to be, my son. I was like,
oh yeah, I was like, oh, that was so
Yeah.
good. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, that was awesome. That's good.
I was glad that the dad was at least somewhat of a good guy, you know?
I think he was definitely a good guy.
I don't know why they
Yeah.
had to kill him, but I guess
Yeah.
the book's already
Well,
written.
because,
Yeah.
people hated him because he was such a good leader.
Because it'd be so easy to make him like a bad guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's like the usual
He's a
story,
rebel
right?
scum. Did you not hear? The Emperor wanted to kill because he's a rebel scum.
Yeah. So, and your first hint that you get that he's a good guy is he sacrifices the spice container for the people in the
Yes.
house. So it's like,
Yep.
damn the spice.
Yeah.
Whatever. Which I guess now we can talk about the spice. So they never said what it was.
It's worm poop.
And worm poop. Oh,
Yes.
it
Is
is
it
worm poop.
really?
Yeah, it's worm poop.
And it makes you high
Yes.
or and psychedelic.
Psychedelic, yeah.
And it gives you like life or eternal life, or
It
is that just a?
It has some like
In magical property,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
It's worm poop.
So I think people use it because they get high, and apparently that's what gives you the blue eyes.
Yeah.
And I was reading that, I don't know if it's part of the movie, but it's part of the lore that people use it out in space, and they use contact lenses to cover their eyes because they don't want to show people that they're using the drug.
Oh.
But the Fremen, they wear it with pride because they're desperate
Yeah.
people. So I thought the blue eye thing was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
The blue eyes were
Yeah.
really cool.
So I don't know. The spice thing, I guess it's interesting, but I don't understand, I guess.
So one, the Bene Gesserit or whatever, they
Gesserit.
use it for like all their rituals and stuff, and that's how
Okay.
they get their powers.
Gotcha.
The Melagin or whatever they called it. For the Fremen, they get some high, but it's like magic, like
But it's
part of their
magic.
sacred stuff.
Yeah.
But it's used for space travel, but nobody knows how it's used for space travel
Okay.
because only the Space Guild or whatever it's called, they only know how to use the spice and they need it to do space travel,
Gotcha.
but nobody knows how it works.
Yeah, I thought it was for trade, but I guess if they use it for space travel,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Because they say like at the beginning of the movie, they say there's no spice, there's no space travel.
Mhm.
And I was like, it's just for trade, like money, but I guess not.
I think what they use it is they probably use it the same way for like magical to do the connections magically
Okay,
between. They don't really explain it because it's a secret to the space peoples.
cool. But yeah, I guess that is the crux of the whole like.
The
I guess
spice must flow.
Yeah, so I guess there's two. The big thing that caused everything to go to crap was the emperor did not want the house of Atreides
Atreides, yes.
to exist anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And now the prophecy of the one,
The chosen one.
the chosen one.
Yeah.
So anyway, or Lisan al-Gayu. But that's a myth, right? Like that's the myth that the Bene Gesserit put onto the desert people so that they didn't.
But it's part of the breeding program. So the breeding program that they've been creating was to create the one that could unite like all space and time or whatever is how they called it. And so Paul wasn't supposed to be that person, but the mom, Lady Jessica, kind of like manipulated things. Because I was reading them a little bit, and apparently they can control like their bodily function so much where they can like, if they get sick, they just do like magic, and they're not sick anymore.
Yeah,
Things like that, so they can control if they're gonna have women and things like that.
gotcha.
They're super powerful in the world.
Cool.
It was
Because in the final fight, when they were the guy was challenging the lady to fight with him, the Lady Jessica, the guy said you cannot fight, and then he said some name. I forgot. I wrote it down, but that means like a holy person or something like that. So you cannot fight a holy person. You have to fight somebody else. So because I was like, why can't he fight her? Like whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I guess they didn't know she was Bene Gesserit. So that's cool, man. It's just so that's why I like this movie so much.
It's super dense.
So much stuff. There's so much stuff in this movie.
Yeah.
That's why it deserves a few watchings.
Oh yeah.
Normally, I'm super just like doing other things when I'm watching a movie and stuff. But this one had so much information. I was just like, what is happening?
I didn't even take notes. I usually take notes for this stuff. I didn't take notes. I couldn't take myself away from it.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
So cool. I don't have anything else. I think we covered everything.
Bro, what about the sandworms, man?
The sandworms.
I guess I want to take on the before we do the sandworm. We can do the trader. That was weak.
The doctor,
Dr. Huang, or whatever his name is.
That
That was weak.
Yeah.
Because you can tell from like 20 miles away that he's gonna get killed. He's like, no, you're not. Oh no,
he wasn't gonna get
the trade he made.
Yeah.
Like he was never gonna get it.
Yeah.
It's like dude.
Like even I know the Harkonnens are bastards.
You wouldn't make a deal. I wouldn't make a deal with those guys. No.
Yeah. So that and then
die fighting before.
Yeah.
I don't know, because he tries to play it cool. It's like, oh, just kill the Baron too. It's like, okay.
Well, I think that might have been why he did the tooth thing too. Like as insurance, like if I die, then or my wife doesn't get free, fuck it.
Yeah, but
it's weak. I'm not.
It was.
Yeah.
It's another trope. It's like an old trope, right? Like the most badass character has to die.
Yeah.
You know, the traitor is somebody really close, but also is gonna die.
Yeah.
It's just a trope.
Cool. All right.
Cliche.
No, we're done with that. Now the worm.
The worm.
Dude, that thing was awesome.
The Shahoud or whatever.
Shahoud, yes. They have a name. Are they speaking a real language or is it just
no, it's just made up. Yeah.
But yeah.
Everything's based on Islam.
Okay. Yeah.
Fun fact.
I think some words are real words because I think I was looking them up and they said like in just language.
Yeah, they had said like Bahul Jihad or something at one point.
Okay.
Jihad's in a Muslim word.
Muslim word, okay. Yeah. Cool. But yeah, the worm is like the way that the Fremen they symbolize.
He's the maker.
The maker.
Yeah,
God.
so it's like a god.
That's just how they see. Like they worship it or they respect it in the same way they would respect God because it embodies what the desert would. It
creates the desert and all that,
and
then it makes the spice because it poops.
I didn't know that.
Circle of life.
I went on a deep dive today.
Yeah, deep dive. Nice. Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, I don't know, man. Like it's weird to be. It reminded me of that movie from the 90s too, where the desert. I don't know which movie. I don't know what.
Let's not start this again.
Yeah,
man.
we can start with this. We can look it up later. But it's also there's also a worm in the desert. We'll look it up. Same thing, except much smaller, way smaller. But anyway, I don't know. What's
I think it's the same one, to be honest. I think you're thinking Dune.
You think of the first?
I think you're thinking Dune, the old Dune. Anyway,
that's awesome.
I don't know. I didn't talk much about the worm. He just ate like the ship, and then he ate.
I think it becomes more important later.
Yeah, because
it's a Fremen thing.
At the end, when they were like riding the worm with the chains, it became like a bigger thing at the very end.
Yeah, because I thought that's what the Judge of Time or Change was going to do, right? She took up the things. She's like, she was
that's why she did the thumper.
Yeah,
she was like, I only respect the worm. Don't stop stomping the ground. Like,
she did that. I was like, what are you doing? And she had the hooks. I was like, oh, this lady is badass.
You think she made it out though?
Nah, she did.
Okay.
She got stabbed. I saw her get stabbed.
Yeah, but like, you know.
That's true. You don't see her die.
Yeah.
You see the other guys get eaten.
Yeah, and you see somebody else riding the worm later.
It's true. You did.
Could be her.
Could be her.
Bro, I've seen Fast and Furious. You know, with that. It's Hollywood,
Family.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Let's talk about the most important thing in this movie,
which is
by far the most important thing.
All right.
The ending. Holy crap, that ending was just so anti-climactic.
So abrupt.
Yeah.
I literally said, what?
Yeah.
Come back.
I knew it was coming. Like, I knew it was going to be an abrupt ending, but I didn't think it was just like, boom, boner kill. Like, what the hell? Like, if there was blue balls in the movie, that's right there.
That's right there, yeah. I don't know. I thought it was fine. I mean, I guess I was also primed because Tyler was like, it ended abruptly. Did you guys think that? I was like, I don't know. I haven't watched it, but
sorry.
No, it's all good.
Because it flew by for me. It was the fastest 2 hours and 30 minutes of my life. And then I was like, no, I want another 2 hours.
Yeah. I tell you, it was like blue balls. If there has been blue balls in a movie, that was it.
Yeah. That was pretty good. I mean, I guess it was not good, but to me, it was fine. I was like, yeah, I think I'm done. 2 hours and a half.
It's fine as long as it's a guaranteed part 1 and a guaranteed part 2. Now that we know it's guaranteed, it's fine. If they didn't get a second one, I would have been pissed.
Yeah,
they didn't even film these movies back to back. They literally were waiting to see if they did good.
See, that's crazy. I was so convinced that they had the second one filmed already.
No, the next one's not slated till October 2023.
What a gamble, man.
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to have time to read the book.
You could read all these series that never got finished.
Oh, man. I want to read the books. Like, I'm not.
It's 9 books, man, or something like that. They didn't get finished because the dude died before he did the last one. Well, they finished it, but it wasn't him who finished it. It was the son finished it with like notes from what he found in his dad.
Oh. I mean, I guess it still counts.
It gets weird.
It gets weird.
Yeah. It totally gets weird.
Okay.
You want some spoilers?
Sure.
So obviously Atreides wins, right? And then he has a son, and he becomes the God Emperor. And then something happens in his book, and then he becomes a sandworm. I'm not lying. He becomes a sandworm. He becomes
a worm?
Yes.
Oh, man.
And then he poops the spice.
You know what, man? I stopped looking into it because I was just like, what?
Okay. Cool. Well, somebody had a little bit too much spice. You know what I'm saying?
That was weird, man.
Oh, man. Oh, wow. So, anyway. So now that we wrapped all the way to the end, catch you next week with some episode about something. I forget what let's see. But anyway, that's it. We're out. Peace.
See ya.
Later.
Thank you for listening. If you like this podcast, please give us a star, heart, or leave us a review. You can follow us on Twitch, Twitter, or YouTube at Pubstomp Podcast. That's PUBSTOMPOD cast. For more episodes, go to anchor.fm/Pubstomp. Music provided by 99 Lives. Credits are in the episode description.